Back over here on Momentum Podcast, guys. We are going to again do a solo one after a couple of guests who have been over there. All of them were amazing, but I think to stay connected to you guys in the most authentic fashion, every now and then I need to do these unscripted ones where I discuss your issues, the most pressing matters according to you. I have done a community post recently and got your responses. I have picked few of the questions which I'm going to be discussing, just like most of the solo ones that I've done before. I have few of the very essential topics which did not only got asked in the community post that I did, but I've been getting those questions for months now in the comment section. So I'm definitely going to discuss that. But I wanted to change the structure in a way that from now on in Momentum Podcast, at the end of it, I can discuss my past experiences, starting from where my career started. So the whole objective of Momentum Podcast has always been and will always remain as enhance your career. And I would like to discuss few of the things that happened in my career in a story fashion. I have been doing that in the form of Torq vlogs, but I think it's time to merge the Torq vlogs with the Momentum Podcast. I think it would be better. See, it is not a channel for me to just speak about myself. I am going to do my best to do that in the minimum, because this podcast is not about me. It's about you. It has always been about helping the audiences. But I would like to discuss those stories because I know those stories well, because I've lived them, and related to that, maybe stories of few of my friends and how their career turned out or how their story turned out. I think discussing a particular streamline will open a lot of different channels, which will give a lot of information to you guys. I think we can try it for a couple of episodes. If it works, then we are going to definitely carry it on. And obviously comment section is open for your opinions, but that is how we are going to do it. Now, I am going to straight up get into questions. I have picked up, I think 6-7 questions. Most of the time what happens is that I'm only able to discuss at max 3 or 4. If we are lucky, we'll be able to discuss all of those over here. But we are going to start with the one question that was not even asked in community post, but I have been harassed about it for so long. Matter of fact, anyone who has any connection with ISRO and has any social media presence always gets asked this question ever since 2019 days, because since then only ISRO examination has been a little bit sporadic. So we have not seen any ISRO notification for over 2 years now, definitely. See, the last notification was in October 2019 and the examination was in January 2020. And since then, none. Now I'm talking about ICRB examination, and there might be a lot of center-based examinations, and those will be still taking 1 to 2 seats like that, their own examination, their own selection. But ultimately, when we talk about scientist C post, ISRO Central Recruitment Board of main branches that were mechanical engineering, electronics and communication, and computer science engineering, we have not seen any major notifications ever since 2019. Now, last time before 2019, the notification was in February 2018. And from February 2018, people were again expecting one to be in February 2019, but it did not happen. It got a little bit delayed, but in that 6 months period, March came, April came, and there's no sign, no notification. So people were worried. Again, they kept on messaging or DMs, sending DMs to people like us who were in ISRO. And we had no idea. See, one thing that I can say for sure, none of the ISRO scientists who are working in general projects have any idea about when the next notification is going to happen. I'm sure that if you have ever pinged any ISRO scientist, that person has said the same thing. So stop doing that. Stop just asking normal employees of ISRO of when the recruitment is going to be, because that's not their job and they have no idea about it. They're busy in their own world, they're busy in their life, they're busy in their work. Now, since this has been asked to me so much, I would like to address it in just this one short part of this podcast. See, ISRO has, like I've said, ISRO Central Recruitment Board. So there's a separate department that is responsible for conducting all the examination that leads to a job in ISRO, and that includes scientist posts, but is not limited to that. It hires almost in every category. Even the loco drivers and all will be hired through same channel. All the different staffs will be hired from same channel. If you go to ICRB website, you'll be seeing a lot of other notifications as well. So they only said that this is going to be the pattern, and they only said the people who are going to design the questions. They said when the notification is going to come, they decide how much seats are required or how much seats should be released based on mainly how many people are getting promoted to a level higher. So for, let us say, 10 scientist C posts to be created, there should be at least 10 scientist C who got promoted to scientist D. Only then spots are open. Now, every now and then there will be a new center that opens up, because of which they will just create new seats, which is also possible. But mostly this is how seats are created. And based on that, ICRB would be deciding, okay, now it is time to release the notification. Now, a lot of things has happened since the last notification. We are all aware of that. First of all, the COVID pandemic and lockdown, because of which the work in ISRO also was hampered. Every other organization, the work was almost at a standstill. And you might not understand the kind of work at ISRO. So when a corporate sector office gets shut down and work from home starts, what happens is that the employees just work from their home through their laptop. Now, ISRO scientists were also doing that to a huge extent. But see, the computers inside the ISRO center are not connected with the internet. They are only connected with the intranet. And you cannot bring in your computer and take your computer outside, because a lot of this is connected to national security, national intelligence. So obviously organizations like Bhabha Atomic Research Center and DRDO, ISRO, these organizations cannot do that work from home, that you are just taking the laptop and all the data is in your laptop. That can be a security threat. Obviously, a lot of people are so vulnerable when it comes to hacking. So their work cannot be done at that pace compared to, let us say, working in Wipro or so. Now, I do not really know exactly how work goes in Wipro, but I would imagine that they would give you your personal laptops. That would be your work laptop, and you'll continue your work from home. Another problem is that in mechanical engineering industry itself, the work has to be done on the field, right? You cannot assemble rocket engines at your home. Obviously, don't try it, at least the big ones. So I don't even know if you'll have the authority to do that. Now, so obviously, if those kind of work activities has to be carried out, then people have to be working at the office or in the production hub. That got halted down badly because of the whole pandemic situation. I would imagine at that time, if you notice, I left ISRO in January 2020. So after that, I was not an employee, but I've been in touch with a lot of employees. So that is what was going on. Now, because of these major changes, obviously recruitment would be the last priority. You can understand this from any company's perspective. You won't want to just increase your load towards recruitment as well, right? And then 2021 again, you know, Delta wave and all. Every now and then there was lockdown. It's still till this day, a lot of organizations are not working at 100% strength. A lot of them are working on hybrid level. Right now, I heard that Bangalore has again gone to the same work from home kind of thing. So I don't think that ISRO is at that stage right now. And the next big thing that happened is change of chairman. So K. sir was now being succeeded by, how can I forget his name? Somnath sir, right? The former director of VSSC, currently the chairman of Indian Space Research Organization. So he might have his own vision of how I can lead the organization from now on. And maybe he is taking a step back to organize things well and then look at properly where are we going to require hiring and what are the actual number of required vacancies instead of just going in. These are just my own thought process. I do not have exact idea about it. The next thing that ISRO is going towards is that ISRO is, you must have heard about privatization. ISRO is not going to get privatized, but ISRO has always been looking forward towards at least the production part. Like PSLV launch vehicle has been mastered by India Space Organization, so it has not failed so far. Minor failures in the initial part in the 90s, and then one small heat shield failure in 2017, and that's it. The launch vehicle is solid. So that is the robustness of that launch vehicle. And if you actually look at what we call reliability of that launch vehicle, I'm sure that it would be above 99%. So every launch vehicle will be having some reliability, and this reliability, it is very difficult to achieve such high level of reliability, because reliability actually work in product fashion. For example, this mic has a reliability of 0.9 and this boom arm has a reliability of 0.9, then the reliability of this whole setup becomes 0.9 into 0.9, that is 0.81. So obviously it is difficult to have high reliability when the component or the machinery becomes very complicated, and there's no machinery more complicated than space science application products like launch vehicle. There's so many parts, but the reliability of PSLV is extremely high. So at that stage, they would definitely want it to be produced by maybe a private organization, or maybe create a private organization which will be taking care of production, so that ISRO can focus more on research and development. That might be another reason that they are now rearranging the pieces and trying to make it even better. And because of all of these reasons combining, you can see that recruitment would be the last priority. But I think that it has been way too long, and there might be a recruitment by the end of this year or next year, because ISRO is not taking a step back. There's no doubt in that. Now, obviously, because when the country or globally, everything has been hit by pandemic, the budget towards space program would reduce as well. That is also a no-brainer. But still, ISRO recently had another launch. So they're doing it perfectly. And the one thing that gives me highest amount of reassurance is the chairman, because that man is not going to take a step back. That is the most dedicated person, the most charismatic person that you can find to be in that position. And I trust him 100%. So I think that ISRO is looking at a bright future. The recruitment is bound to happen. If you ask me, Ashish, do you know when the recruitment can take place? No idea, guys. Sorry about that. I don't think that anyone can know other than the ISRO Central Recruitment Board, and high chances are that even they do not know, because they are going to be told how many seats and all. All right. But one thing that I hate about the kids these days, that's the moment you start to sound old. Now, one thing that I hate about our country's young generation in general is that I want to join ISRO only. See, if you're interested in space science, if you're interested in aerodynamics and astrophysics or anything like that, maybe aerospace engineering, you can do masters. You can try to aim at MTech in IITs, or you can even think about MS abroad, and maybe till then stay occupied. I do not want to see youngsters who are just graduating and thinking that I want to get into ISRO, but ISRO is not releasing recruitments or notifications. Then what am I supposed to do? Well, you're supposed to do what you were supposed to do even after joining ISRO. That is maybe aerospace engineering. For some it might be robotics. For some it might be coding, whatever it was. But you have to keep on working on your skill, right? There's no excuse to not do that. So number one, there are a lot of private space organizations that are popping up. Right now, numbers were really outstanding, but they're close to 100, even more than that by now probably, of small startups which are working on satellites. And also, if you look at launch vehicle, Agnikul is doing a great job, Skyroot is doing a great job. Very soon more are going to pop up. So why aren't you looking towards these? If you're interested in a particular field of engineering, field of science, keep on doing that. Notification will come someday or the other. Till then, you cannot keep on waiting and keep on just preparing for maybe gate examination every year, year after year, or How about like this is exactly what I did in 2017. In 2017, notification was there, recruitment was there. I did not get selected. So I joined Bhabha Atomic Research Center. What's the problem in that? I'm increasing my experience. Am I going to stay on my ass until I get a notification from ISRO and until I crack that examination? No, I'm an engineer and I'm going to enhance my career in the field of engineering. So I think that should be the thought process. And thus, number one, know that nobody knows when the notification is going to come, and even if someone knows, that person is not going to make that news public. And second, the career should not stop. The show must go on. All right, that's about it. Please, if it is possible, do not ask that question again. I'm sure everyone who listened to it will not ask that question again, but there will be some people who never watched a video of mine and still ask that question to me in future. All right. Anyways, see, I want to discuss something about how the channel will go in future, or about the new website that I'm trying to develop, maybe a new platform that I'm trying to develop, but I'm going to do that at the end so that those people who are not interested towards that is not getting a break in the middle. Next, I will just start taking some questions. Okay. Multiple questions being asked. I'll start with the one which has gotten the maximum amount of likes. Now, this question has been asked to me before as well, probably by the same person. And all the time this question gets asked, it gets the maximum amount of likes. It might also be possible that the same person creates 10 different accounts and get that. But I'm not betting on that. Most likely this question is really popular. So let's get into it. Please talk about all dark sides of your journey in a proper video in a detailed manner, like the difficulties you faced, consistency problem, guilt thoughts, lack of attention from people. That's an interesting one. People not considering your worth and how you dealt. From the first day when you decided to change, and your journey of dealing and fighting with those till you cleared such big exams with top ranks. Not about the result but the effort. All right, that is a very detailed question, well written question. Everything is clear, but the only problem that I have over here is that this actually covers around 6 years of my life. So when that person asked me that when did you decided to change, then that is 2012. And when I see these guilt thoughts, that is also again in 2012. The consistency problem I didn't really have ever. So maybe I'm going to put a little bit of reasons over there that why I was always consistent, or I was never having problem with motivation. This part where people were lacking attention, yeah, it continued to happen until I started working in Bhabha Atomic Research Center. Then people who were in my school or college, they started to recognize that, okay, this person has done something. Until that point, they were just thinking that I'm just another college topper who did not even understand anything that was taught in college, just mugged up and got good CGPA of 9.57. But when I got into a research organization, that's when they understood that, yeah, this guy is really knowledgeable and is a research oriented person. Same happened in my BARC training school also. I'll not take his name, although I doubt that he would mind, because I'm only going to talk about good things about him. See, the topper, and not only the topper, the overall topper of my BARC training school batch 2017 to 2018 is a super dedicated person. All right. He is hardworking, is in a always disciplined, has a routine, knows when to work and when to just relax. And he was always, throughout 1 year of our journey in our training school, was always thought of as, in Hindi normal we say maggu, right? He will just rot up everything, he will mug up everything, because that kind of mentality is to a huge extent required sometimes to perform very well in semester examination. But he did it anyways, and he's always obviously not that kind of person who will be playing guitar like Gaurav Joshi. So he's mostly staying in a side corner, having limited friends, and works very hard for examination. So most people just branded him like, okay, he's the classic Maggu topper. But after he graduated, he published so many research papers, man. Research paper after research paper in well-renowned journals. in first year of his service in Department of Atomic Energy, second year, third year, he keeps on doing it. I think he's doing like 2 to 3 research papers a year, and all are well renowned, which is extremely difficult. So obviously now we know that he was a very research oriented person, and so later on you find out. But coming back to the point, once I got into Bhabha Atomic Research Center, that's where the opinion started to change. And obviously once a tag is attached to you, that's where people starts to recognize you. Unfortunately, that's the truth. I think at least in this country, I do not know about other countries, but we value trophies and medals way too much. All right, maybe something can change over there. Because one thing that I've always said is that, when was the actual release date? It was 26th August 2018, where the result was declared that I am All India rank 4 in Indian Space Research Organization ICRB examination mechanical engineering. That's the date. But that's not actually the date on which I was All India rank 4, because I did not appear in that interview on that day. The actual day was 17th August. That's the day when I executed things properly. And even before that, when I was preparing for that interview so hard, or even before that, when I was preparing for written test, where I got All India rank of 85 in the written test, and that exam happened on 22nd April, if I remember properly, 2018. So that is where I was the topper. But at that time, nobody knew. At that time, everyone was, I do not know what he's trying to do. He's trying to risk his BARC training school position and all. I think a lot of people actually, I found out about this later. They used to talk about me on my back that I'm kind of psychotic, and I just do not know what I have to do. I have my legs in different places, and I'm not focused towards one thing. That's what they used to say. And I found out about these things later, that those people used to say this about you. Now they know. And I do not know if they know or not. But that was the common perspective, that I do not know what this guy is trying to do. But that's when I was All India rank 4. And I was right in front of them, but they would never acknowledge it, right? Because unless you get that attestation, they're not going to acknowledge it. So I do not know where I got here from, but I think that's how the unscripted podcasts are supposed to be. So people are not going to look up to you or give you respect unless that recognition comes or that attestation comes. Very few people are going to appreciate you for your hard work, although I was actually surprised that percentage was also huge. A lot of people appreciated my hard work before I got any ranks or any medals as well. Even in the college days, a lot of people appreciated that this guy gets up early in the morning, goes to the library early, studies even on Sundays, does not enjoy on weekends or does not go for trips. He's very dedicated. There were people who did really applaud on those activities or on those features of mine. But also, you cannot really find all the people around you doing that, or why should they? Like, whole connection of expecting things from other people is kind of stupid. Like, we are all individuals, and to most people you don't really matter much. The problem is that you want to matter a lot. That's the problem, that you want to have that one aura where whenever you walk in the room, everyone should pay attention. Like, why should they? I think that is also why most people chase fame. Like, look at the movie stars and all, whenever they go, followed by cameras, and everybody knows who they are. But I think there's a beauty in saying anonymous. There's a beauty in anonymity. Like, nobody knows who you are. Then you can do whatever you want to do, because then you do not have to please anyone. Right now, a lot of people, like, I still remember long time back, I think a month back, it's not that long, I said the word fuck in a short, and there's someone down below in the comment section saying, I did not expect this from a former research scientist. Like, this is how I really talk. So why do I have to pretend that I'm someone else or I talk super legit or clean? I don't, man. If you're my friend, you know how foul my mouth is. So most of the time, I don't use that because a lot of times I'm using my voice for educational content, and I do not want that to be connected with like slangs. Definitely not, especially when you're trying to teach someone something and you're talking to a younger crowd. But I do not have the obligation to change myself. And that's again, another comment was there that why don't you have more views? I think it's good that I don't have more views because people who are over here are here to listen to me. So I do not know where we got here from, but there's a beauty in anonymity. So if people do not look up to you, or what was it over here? Lack of attention from people and people not considering your worth and how you dealt with it. Yeah, that's the truth. Like who is paid that much attention towards in this real world that everybody is going to know your worth? No, man. Most of the time your parents won't even know your worth. And that's the reality. And why should they? They are not living in your body. They do not know every thought of yours. How can you expect everyone else or even a particular person to know what you're worth of, or yes, you will achieve that? Do you know that? Or do you trust that you are going to achieve? Or do you know your worth? If yes, then that's more than you need. If you're looking for an affirmation from someone you love or your parents or your family that you are good enough, then I think you're lacking that within you, that you yourself might not believe that you're good enough or you can do it. And that's a problem. If the entire world says that you cannot do it, that's really not that bad if you say that you can do it. On the contrary, if the entire world says that you can do it and you yourself are saying that maybe I won't be able to do it, then you won't be able to do it, because that's how much there's a disbalance in between those two. It is more important for you to understand. So these are the things that I understood very soon. So when I got into college, I was also feeling this kind of left out, because at that time I was not good in academics. I was not into any sport. I was into martial art, huge amount, but nobody really used to care. There was not a competition or a tournament or any kind of sport activity going on related to martial arts. Now there's a lot. I even went to one mixed martial art event very recently. But at that time, very few. Now also I think in outskirt areas it would be very rare. So nobody knew about that part, because I used to wake up early in the morning and actually used to try to hide from other people when I used to work out towards my boxing or my kickboxing or taekwondo, all these things. So they did not know. So I was not an excellent person when it comes to academics. I was not excellent in sports, and I was not a massively good looking person. So what is there for people to be around me or acknowledge me? So I was left out. A lot of times I found myself to be sitting alone in the dinner table or lunch table, and kind of at that time, early 2012, if I remember, I was pissed off. Like, why don't people pay attention towards me? I think that's what this person is talking about. But talking about those days would maybe help you understand why that mentality should change. Absolutely. See, the reality is the world does not care about one particular person. Or why should? There are like 7 billion of us. Exactly, more than 7 billion of us. So why should they care about one particular person? And that is why a lot of people run towards a medal and trophies, or sometimes fast cars or very lavish homes, because once you can show that, that brings attention of other people. But for how long? For example, you're all India rank 1 in civil services examination, let us say 2023. And everyone is going to find out about you. Okay, this is rank 1. But for how long? That's it, done. So if you drive your attention from outside world, or you drive your value from the outside world, or if they acknowledge me, then I'm something good. If they don't, then I'm not. And that's a problem. And I have been missing for the past 7 days or so, and few people actually started to worry that what happened to Ashish Ranjan. He has not posted a video for 1 week. Actually, I did a Talk and Fire podcast. You might have missed it out last Sunday. And yeah, 1 week I took a break. I took a break because I'm working on my course right now. But the point is that now I've not snapped out, and don't worry guys, I'm not going to leave you guys. But the point is that there are a lot of YouTubers that have snapped out, and there are a lot of TikTokers, there are a lot of Instagram influencers that have snapped out, because this is their job, to gain attention. And sooner or later they are going to lose attention. Nobody is going to be the thing forever. Not possible. So those people who are feeling bad that they are not the man of the room, well, you should understand that you can get over there momentarily in your life, but that is not going to stay. So is that what you want to drive your happiness from? Maybe you should pay attention towards something else that is more permanent. For example, for me, more permanent thing would be podcasts, writing, creating videos, or teaching others about speaking skills and all that. That's what I do. No matter if I get a rise of peak or then a downfall, does not really matter. If that is good, then you do not need to worry. And once those things are clear, then you'll be able to focus towards whatever you're trying to do. So I'm going to read this question again. I think that in a very scarce manner, and then again converging to the final conclusion, I've discussed almost everything. Please talk about all the dark sides of your journey in proper video. Okay, not going to make a video. Like difficulties you face, consistency problem, guilt, lack of attention. Yeah, these are all the problems that everybody faces. See, there's a big problem amongst human beings that we only live one life. Actually, that's a problem amongst anyone who is alive or has ever lived. So we only live one life, right? So if we live only one life, we have only one perspective. And because of that, we always think that aisa mere saath hi hota hai, this happens only to me. But the reality is that this happens to majority. Anything that has happened to you happens to thousands of people at the same time. If you think that you are being left out, there are millions of people who are left out. If you think that you are facing financial crunch, there are millions, probably billions of people who are facing the same at the same time actually. If you think that someone betrayed you, that happens a lot. So if you think that you are guilty of your past, almost everybody is. There's always something that you would have not done if you had the mind that you have right now. Or I regret a lot that I did not study very hard up till I was age of 18 or up till I got into college. Would I do that if I would be able to go back in the past? No, but I cannot go back in the past. So live and learn. It's as simple as that. So these are majority of the problem, and happens to majority of the people. All you can do is not drive your happiness from the outside world, and decide what you want to do and spend time on that, regardless of the hurdles that comes along the way. Hopefully I was able to clear it. This question has been asked before as well, so finally I think it is answered. All right, next, thanks for the podcast question. Life seems dull, unuseful after certain exam preparation of 1 year. Want to start preparation for a different domain. What should be my approach for better life? All right. Again, a very open-ended question. Have some hobby or some activity that you do for fun when you're preparing for examination. I think that is important. Otherwise, you are going to feel dull. And be connected to some community. Now, this is a very unique problem of India. I think those people who are preparing for competitive examination. Again, lived as an Indian all my life, so I cannot say about other country. I've heard that China's competitive coaching institute is huge as well, but I don't know. But over here, when the population is so large, sometimes people spend years preparing for an examination. I think they should have some hobby, and they should be connected with some community. Any community, like let us say guitar playing community, or football community, or martial arts, or anything. But there should be something that shows the bigger world as well, that your whole world is not limited just towards this examination. Okay, let's move to the next one. What are your thoughts about life? According to you, should we young guns perceive our future? Is it good to be worried about future? Oh yeah, definitely. Albert Einstein once said something that goes along the line as the a happy person is one who is so happy that he's not thinking about the future and is not thinking about the past and is thinking about the present. Something like this. I know that I slaughtered it, but I'm going to paste the actual one on the screen right now. But the point is that when you're too happy, you do not really think about your future, right? You don't really think about your past much either. But you cannot be that person always, because if you do not think about your future and work for your future, someday future is going to become your present and then you are not ready for that. So I think that you should definitely always think about your future. There's nothing wrong with that. But some people just keep on speculating way too much. They'll think about all the infinite possibilities of the future. And sometimes they think about all the negative possibilities of the future as well. And obviously, if you think about 1,000 negative possibility, only one is the one that actually happens. But you spend so much energy thinking about the rest 999. So I think that most of the time you should just take care of a projected future, because nobody knows exactly what is going to happen. You should have that, okay, I'm trying to do this right now and I want this to be done in the next 6 months or 1 year or maybe a week, whatever your timeline is. And then you should work for that. Future is important. Now, people will be saying that live every day as if this was your last day. You know what's the problem with that? Number one, it will actually happen someday or the other. And second one is that what if it's not? What if tomorrow happens? So one day before the examination, live every day as if this is your last day. And next day, you found out it wasn't your last day. Probably it is going to be your last day because you're going to fail in this examination. So those kind of things don't really work in real world. Future is important. Past is important as well. Learn from your past, prepare for your future, and live in the present. Wow. I think someday someone is going to write this beside my picture and going to write, Ashish Ranjan said that. Or maybe not, because there are too many YouTubers these days and too many podcasts dropping too much gyan. Now, next question. No, before going to the next question, I'll get to some of the topics that I wanted to discuss. Okay, this question, like, where have I been? I don't think in the past 3 years I've ever taken a gap so long where I was missing for 1 straight week, which is not really large, but it is not like I was taking a break either. I was actually working harder. I was working on my course, Art of Speaking, that has been going for over 2 years now, I guess. Yeah, it started in October 2020. You do the math. So I wanted to convert the whole course into a hybrid course, half recorded and half live, because that would increase the efficiency. So I have recorded so far somewhere around 50 videos. Those are equal to 50 YouTube videos, you can think about it. So you can imagine how much work has gone over there. Or at least you can say somewhere around 30 YouTube videos, which has been done in 1 to 2 weeks. So it took a lot of time, and now the website is ready. Creating that website also took a lot of time. And that is where I was spending my time. And like I said, some of the people were worried that what happened. They were messaging Komal that, Komal, take care of Ashish. Is he okay? I have not been seeing him. Or what is going on? By the way, if there's something wrong with me or I'm having some problem, Komal is the right person to reach out, because she takes good care of my mental health. Now, she might also be the reason why I've not snapped out so far after leaving ISRO. Yep. And you gotta thank her for that. But I'm fine. I'm doing great. But I should have planned better. That's the other thing. Like, I've taken weeks of gaps before as well. But for that, I had created videos in advance. But these days, the work has increased so much that it was difficult for me. But it's okay. And also, I want to create even better produced videos. I want to put more time, more effort, more writing into those. And because of that, I was missing, and nothing more than that. But that brings me to the topic, man, that there are actually YouTubers who are losing their mind. It was scary. Last night I was going through this YouTube channel, something V2, I don't remember the name, but makes fantastic videos. And he was talking about some YouTubers who reached millions of subscribers within a year or so, and then they could not understand what to do with it or how to maintain the same rise, because if you reached 1 million in 1 year, then most likely you should be expecting to reach 10 million in the next year, right? And what if that does not happen? And YouTube doesn't give a shit about you. If you're popping, you're popping. If you're not, then your views will be dropping. Wow, that's really amazing. Maybe I should try rapping career as well. And way too self-deprecating. Now, getting back to the point. So there are a lot of YouTubers who are actually snapping. There are a lot of Instagram influencers, because their whole idea is about numbers. They have to just increase the numbers, increase the views. And especially a lot of vloggers have huge obligation to do weirder shit, because people get used to that high, right? But ultimately, I think if you are going to make YouTube your full-time job, it's going to be difficult, man. I don't think that anyone should be doing that. YouTube should always be a side outlet. First of all, money is way too less if you're not hitting the millions of views per video. And next thing is that it demands a lot of bullshit a lot of times, which I try to stay away from as much as possible. By the way, I've not done any of the bullshit. You let me know if I've ever done anything like that, which is cringe. Let me know down in the comment section. Yes, Ashish, you might not want to acknowledge it, but this is what you did. But I stay away from it as much as possible. I always think about it. That is, again, coming back to the question. Someone was asking like, oh, why aren't you getting more views? Your content quality is good. Well, number one, I am incapable of making clickbait thumbnails. It's not possible. You have never seen me making anything like just like earn this much money or this quick way, like impossible things that people will still click towards. So I'm not capable of that. And my clickbaits, my thumbnails are not that attractive. Maybe that's the reason. Second reason might be that I don't really talk about the trending topics. I talk about the topics that are really in need to enhance the career of the students. Maybe that's the reason. Or maybe I really suck at YouTube. But whatever, I really admire the support that I have right now. And even the thousands of views are more than sufficient. Okay. Now, next, I want to talk about, that's it. That's more than sufficient. I'm going to take few more questions. No, there's a discussion that I wanted to have, as discussed somewhere in the beginning. I had this idea and I have posted this on community post as well, that what do you think, guys? Should I create a platform which is going to guide people who are preparing for competitive examination? And I really like doing these things and taking your suggestions, because your suggestions always shock me. Like, I might be having a perspective, like this is what I should do, this is how I should lead my channel. And then I ask you questions and I found that, oh, I did not think about that. So I wanted to make it 100% free. And then there were suggestions that said that, see, Ashish, if you're going to make it 100% free, then it might not have the same quality, and you should reward if you're putting that much time. And that is the reason why I think that free is not the best. A lot of people said that, yeah, do it free. But I think that Indian crowd is getting more and more mature, and they're starting to understand that a real good content or good things cost some value. Now, long story short, I'm not diving into I'm creating a paid platform for GATE examination or competitive examination. Long story short, I'm not creating a platform. So that was just an idea, and I took your suggestion. And I believe that there are a lot of apps which are doing that already, and all of them are commercialized. And I think the reason might be that over time, this will require some funding, something or the other, which will run your apps and will run your websites. And I think very soon it will, number one, take a lot of my time, which I'm not ready to give towards competitive examination. And second of all, will require me to make it paid. Like, there must be a reason why everyone starts free and over time they make it paid. But one thing that I never did is make my guidance for paid. And you know me since 2018. I started with this agenda, and a lot of people when I left ISRO thought that I will be starting my own coaching institute. which was a very viable career, but I never did that because I did not wanted to capitalize on this whole exam preparation group. I know that it has a lot of it has given crores to a lot of people, but I wanted to do something else with my life because it is what kickstarted my career. I did not want it to be my entire career, so I didn't ever do that. So what I'm saying is that I have been doing this guidance thing for past 4 years for 100% free, and I think that it can be converted into a proper platform where my videos, which has already been produced without sponsors, without any advertisement, can be showed on that platform or website. But the only difference is that on YouTube, what happens is that one moment you would be suggested 6-month plan for gate examination, and next moment it would be suggesting the last 10 days for gate examination or the revision strategies. There's no proper structure. And most of the time, these videos are not standalone videos, so they will not give you sufficient information. And partial knowledge is dangerous. I've been saying this for a long time. So I think that if it is structured one by one, and what if it opens up at a particular time, like full length test series video does not open up before October, something like that, and gives you an idea like first was this video, then was this video, then was this video, and maybe create a community where people can interact, maybe have live sessions every now and then. 100% free because I know I can do it because I've already created a platform for art of speaking, which is paid and is creating revenue for me. And same platform can be used for free content for competitive examination aspirants. And I think it will work. I think it will work fine. I don't think that I will ever need to make it paid. There's no reason to make it paid because all the content is free on YouTube anyways. It's just that I'm structuring it out. Without that structure, I think I've made somewhere close to 100 videos on gate examination, more than 60 videos on ISRO examination, same 50 to 60 videos on BARC examination. I think they need to be structured properly so that students understand what to go through when, and they have a well-oriented preparation. And also on a website, it will not have distraction of other YouTube recommendation and all. And again, it will not have any propaganda. It will not have any sponsors. I think I owe that much to the community of people who are preparing for competitive examination because they have given me the fame and the popularity that I am having currently, and they trusted me way before anyone else trusted me. So I think that is something of a giving back, and rest of the things are obviously support with my courses and all, and people are ready to do that, and that creates sufficient amount of revenue. I've created so many sponsored content, man. Like I would say close to 50 to 60 sponsored videos so far, and all of those sponsors paid me well, but I have not seen a single backlash from any of you, which is really remarkable. Like sometimes the sponsored segment is in first 3 minutes or 4 minutes of a video, and you guys just, okay, I'll just skip past through it. Let's listen to what this guy is saying. That is really mind blowing. That much amount of trust when I get from a particular set of people, I definitely want to give back. And I've started working on that already. And I think we can see how we can build it. Maybe a crowdsourcing kind of thing. We can find out how it can go, maybe add few features over time. So let me know about your opinions, guys. You guys help me a lot, and your opinions are very appreciated over here. And let me know what you think about creating this kind of, almost you can say like a free course. And I think it will help the students a lot. I really don't want to put a price over it, even like 100 rupees. A lot of people do that. 100 rupees, it will increase the value. I think those people who will appreciate its value will do it for free as well, and will do it for paid as well. So that's not reason sufficient. I think those people who are dedicated enough and taking time to go to a website, logging in and just going through the course, they are dedicated enough. They do not need to prove it with 100 rupees of fees. Okay. But let me know your opinions down in the comment section, and what else can be added over here, or things that I should work upon. Okay. All right. See, I want to get to this one last question that was asked in the community post, and I was able to accept maximum. See, people if I was not able to take your question, the reason was that there were like dozens of questions over there which were really good, and maybe I'm going to discuss them in the next one. The question says, we know how bad our life is going on right now, and we also know how to solve the problem, but still are not solving them. How can we overcome laziness and comfort zone? I mean, how can we take the first step towards our better self? This is really a good question, and I wanted to take this question instead of few questions that were asking things about me, because there were two me in this one. So I just want to talk about this one because I've seen this happening with others. It never happened with me. This is again, I think to a huge extent, lack of guilt, but we'll try to decipher it because this is very prevalent. A lot of people do it. I'll give you an example. So there's one guy who was in my college, who was with me in my college, same mechanical engineering branch. His father is a farmer. He has taken educational loan to study in this college, and also at the same time he's a bright student. Like, all he has to do is sit down and study. Because of his 11th and 12th performance, I can say that he's a bright student. But still, whenever I saw him like drinking with other friends or playing video games, or whenever he could utilize time towards better growth or towards his academic career or towards his career in general. Now obviously, drinking with your friends and playing video games can be considered in recreation, but can never be considered in your career until unless that's your vlogging career, which is going to fall very soon on its face. So coming back to point. So whenever I'm just taking one example, but I have seen dozens of these people around me. Like, they are having serious financial issues back at their home. They have taken financial loan. It is very important for them to get a job. It is very important for them to create a very good career. But still, I find them wasting time. My situation was actually much better. I did not take loan for my education, and there was not much responsibility. Like, I did not have responsibility like behan ki shadi karani hai. No, my parents are well off in that domain. So I did not have that much of obligation to really work that hard. But still, I could not waste a second of my time in college because I was always having this guilt in me that because of what I did till the age of 18, I'm not in the best colleges of this country. So I have to pay back the debt. That is what I used to think, that I have kind of taken debt because of enjoying too much, and I'll have to work extra hard now to pay that back. But when I saw these people, and a lot of them were very good friends of mine, I never went over there and told them that, hey man, this is your situation, because why to give freak again? You're over here on your own will, so I'm giving it to you. So I never told them anything, but it did kind of always raised a question like, what is it? What is it that keeps them away from studying and working hard? And how are they even able to spend time enjoying? Because I wasn't even able to go for an outing or a trip even on weekends, or let us say holy holidays or Diwali holidays. It was just not possible for me because I was in a bad situation in my career, and I knew that to reach a good, valuable place, I'll have to work extremely hard. And at that time, I used to say that these people are just not responsible, or they might be having a backup. I'm not sure about that. A lot of my friends actually joined back to their parents' businesses. All right. So even like not big businesses, a shop outside their home, and my friends after doing BTech went back over there. All right. Did not get a job. So maybe they have a backup. I did not know. My father was an employee, a serviceman. So I knew that I have to get my own job. I did not have a business to fall back on. But a lot of my friends did not even have that. But still, I saw them wasting time. And now when I think about it, and now when I've seen hundreds of students in that category as well, that even though you have so much responsibilities on your shoulder, and you need to just get an employment, why aren't you just working for every waking second of your life? I think that it is kind of, I'm not sure if I should use that term, so I'm not going to use it, but it is kind of a dark hole where they do not feel that anything can make their life better, or they have accepted that their life is dark and it's never going to be as bright as some people who are walking under the spotlight. Maybe that's the reason that they are not putting in effort, because they don't have hope. I think those people who are in those zones, that I do not have anything, I have responsibilities, I need to improve my life, but still I'm lazy, I'm comfortable, I need to spend time with my friends. I think they should have a vision for their future, and they should understand that anything is possible. See, you can create an image in your brain, and this is what I started to do in the first year of my college. I'll share my vision with you as well. It is kind of funny, but okay, this is how it goes. My vision was that I'm going to have a house, all right, maybe 2 bedrooms or so, and that house will be having a big garage, and that garage will be having cars and different internal combustion engines, and I'm going to assemble those engines, and I'm going to make those cars and tune it and make it, maybe increase the suspension sometimes, maybe increase the horsepower sometime, maybe change the aerodynamic nature of that vehicle, something like that. Obviously a luxury, it's not going to pay me, but that was the vision with which I started. I took it so seriously that is the reason why it is so funny, that I actually designed that house in the software of CATIA. I designed that room by room, and the garage was the largest part. But see, that has few things which are important, like I will be a good mechanical engineer, and also I'll be able to afford that house, right? I still do not have that house. I still live in a rented 1 BHK flat. But that was a vision that motivated me. And also at that time, naive as I was, but I trusted that it is possible. I had a belief that I can achieve this. And if you ask me, why, Ashish, why did you believe that you can achieve it? Because I saw so many people who were already doing that. I saw so many people who are already living in good houses, living a good life. So why is it that they can do it and I can't? So this is the simplest way of giving yourself belief. And you can have any vision for your future. You can have a vision like, I want to gift my parents a house, I want to buy a car, or I want to buy this bike, or I want to work in this company, I want to start a company, I want to develop a website. Have a vision. Have a vision in which you are having an independent life, a good life, a happy life. All right. And then work towards that. Believe that that is possible. That is a hope that keeps us running. Otherwise, what is going to keep you running? It is very easy to stay happy and motivated when things are going good, right? Right now also it is very easy for me to stay happy and motivated because I'm having a YouTube channel with more than 2 lakh subscribers. I'm having a course running. I'm having achievements in my past. I'm having a good future. So in that okay situation, all right, everything is good. You can strive for more. That is an advantage that people who are already ahead in the race can understand. And by race, I do not mean to say that it is a whole competition, but they have ran farther in their own direction. But the point is that when things are dark and you are having nothing, absolutely nothing, you don't have a job, you don't have people who love you, you don't have good friends, you don't have an environment, you don't have a house, sometimes you don't have money to pay your rent as well, sometimes you don't even have water in your tap, and sometimes you don't even have electricity. I've seen those days as well. And sometimes it's hot and messy and you're alone and it's dark. Can you stay positive in those moments? That's the question. That's what really changes lives. Because if you can stay positive in those moments, you can stay positive in any kind of situation. When you have nothing and no one, you still have yourself. And you have something which is extremely valuable, which is more than what most of the billionaires in this world have. You have more time. You can use that time to create your life in a positive sense. It's as simple as that. So that hope is important. And that is what I used to think, that only guilt and bad situations can motivate a person to work extremely hard. But I later found out that that is not true at all. There are so many people who are having nothing. They do not have any job. They do not have any credibility. Their life is going nowhere, but still they are not working hard. A lot of them like to drink and forget about it, but it is a temporary solution. So that is not sufficient. Adversity is not sufficient for you to be motivated. That's a truth that I was not aware of. I thought that if the situation gets too bad, you're bound to work extremely hard. No, there are a lot of people who are kicked to the ground and they would stay down in the dirt for the rest of their life. It actually happens. But in that situation where things are extremely bad, you have to give yourself hope. That's about it, guys. All right, I would like to extend it further, but I think that's my limitation as well. I've been talking for 1 hour. Put further questions down in the comment section. I love the crowd that I get. A good bunch of people who are getting involved in the podcast. Your questions are good and intelligent, and I always love to discuss them. Thank you for the support. Also, Art of Speaking is now officially released. I don't think I can call it officially because I've not made the big announcement, like proper announcement. I'm telling this at the end of the video or end of the podcast because only the most avid follower will stay till the end. And there's a 15 days extra that you're going to get. So Art of Speaking is in general 30 days long course, but people who are signing in early, they are going to get a 45 days, that is 15 days extra. I just want you guys to get involved, join in the first few people who are going to get the second season of Art of Speaking. So earlier, Art of Speaking was 100% live and online. So I used to take physically every class, and I did that for 12 batches from 2020 October to 2022 April. But then I found out that there are some batches which are getting something extra and some batches which are getting something extra, and in total the course is extremely long to be covered in just 4 sessions. Actually, the last session went out for 5 sessions, each of 2 to 3 hours. So I found that I can do either one of two things. Either I can have a 6 into 3 hour sessions, or I can just make it in a course in which is efficient. Only the important things are discussed and no important thing is missed out. Plus, I can have live sessions in which the students can get the opportunity to speak out, because that's what is lacking amongst us, that we do not get opportunity to speak in English in front of other people. And that is why that fear never goes away. And that was again not possible to be done by just live ones, because we were running out of time. The class was getting stretched for 4 hours, 5 hours, and still we were not able to cover everything. So I think there will be, it would be good if we are having 4 live sessions, 1 to 2 hours long, in which everyone gets an opportunity to speak. And rest of the simple core Art of Speaking principles will be discussed in the recorded ones. Students will go through the recorded ones, and then we are going to have a live session at weekend. And there they will get the opportunity to speak, and they will get the opportunity to ask their questions to me personally. I always have been and always will limit the number of students in a live session, only maximum of 10 to 15, because that way I know each and every one of you. When the crowd gets too large, then I'm going to have more live sessions across the week, but each live session will be having only limited number of people so that I can guide you on the individual level. Class is too long, like 50 to 100 people. I don't really like those kind of classes, because no teacher actually knows every one of those 50 people. And these days people are having 300, 500, just a money churning machine. I never wanted it to be like that. And still, I want Art of Speaking to be serene. I want Art of Speaking to be pristine. I want it to be valuable, authentic, and highly intensive towards quality, because most of the courses are lacking that. And if you don't have quality, you don't have result. And that's what I want to do. That was my initial agenda even in 2020, that I want to create result. I can tell you a lot of things. I can write a book and you can study that. And ultimately, if your spoken English does not increase, your confidence does not increase, then what's the point of it? So that is why I will be taking like daily recordings of you. I'll check those recordings myself. That has been a curriculum since the beginning of Art of Speaking. It's just that now it is very fixated. The last 12 batches help me to understand what is needed, what is not needed, all the important things. And now I've been able to create a structure which is bound to create results. So think about it and go down in the description box. I'll give a discount code which will be valid till 31st of July. Later on, you'll have to find new discount codes and maybe new podcasts or so. That's about it, guys. I'm extremely happy for the support that I get. Really, sometimes it is unbelievable, the amount of support that I get. It's amazing. I'll do my best to live up to the expectations. And that's about it. See you next time. Till then, bye.